Well, thanks for inviting me along, Dave. As you and I'm sure everyone knows, I am the Loughborough or Ladybird Professor of Literature. As I think most people know, the book was invented in Loughborough in 1784 by the Ladybird family. The Ladybird family, they saw people in the local community were they were living fine lives. They enjoyed themselves, but they wanted to give them something new to really bring the town on. So they invented the book, and they endowed my professorship, and that's why I've been invited along today. Here, of course, we see John Ladybird. There he is reading the first book that he invented. And that's his family's home in the late. As many people know, the first book that he ever invented was How to Read a Book. It was a very useful book, a bestseller. And it really brought people into the game of reading. People, when they first seen the books, they thought, "What is this? Is this something to fly, flot, flot away flies with? Is this something to use to sit down upon to keep one's arse dry?" But no. This book, as was cleverly explained by How to Read, was something for people to read generally. His family, or you can see his house, was quite a nice house for the time. The wood paneling, of course, was one of the things that inspired him to use wood. He was picking off very fine pieces of wood off the wall, and he noticed how malleable it was, how easily marked it was, with different words. And he said to himself, "You know what? Maybe I should take some words," which were, of course, going around at the time. Like, of course, John Ladybird wasn't the person that invented words. Words were being used at the time for various signs, signs to let people know where the time was. Perhaps with a sign that said time pointing to a clock. And then one hand would say before, and the other hand would say tea. And then there would be other words that would be around the place, like maybe to indicate like where a town would start or finish, maybe indicate where a door is. So people had like some familiarity with the art of reading, but it was really when it all came together in combining all words, not as you see in the slide of the screen. Obviously, to a modern audience, we look at this and we know this is not how you would read a piece of literature. This is, in fact, word jumble. But it is an example of words which are used, as I say, in signs or in books. Here we see someone that really brought on the art of books in a really magnificent way. This is, of course, Charles Dickens. He wrote the second book being A Christmas Carol, very timely for this time of the year. He wrote this in this house you see here on the left, which was in London in 1850. You can see it's very typical of the style of house in London at the time. They're, of course, all bulldozed now. But yeah, Charles Dickens, there he is surrounded by I believe that is the fourth to the 98th book he wrote, just behind him there. You can see he was very prolific once he got started. He just went into it. He's probably about 20, 25, 26 there. So you can tell to have written 98 books and have them published and bound at a time when there was no real publishing industry to speak of. And having published these books, he turned his hand to a new form. He thought, you know what, the word jumble, as demonstrated 2 slides ago, did just hadn't really been used to full effect. So Charles Dickens decided to start doing word jumbles in the pages of Punch to represent the spirit of the time. This is, of course, his famous word jumble about positive community time and the impact of social welfare reform on the Victorian system of class, how really putting more positive feelings into the community through a keen awareness of overcoming challenges and welcoming people really changed how the Victorians seen the relationships between the upper class and the lower class, and really enabled them to move on into the 20th century. So it's not just books that are important, people, it's also word jumbles. All of these things are literature. And here you can really see over time the base or what the benefits of literature and books have been to modern modern humanity. Of course, the red line's going down. That's indicating the decline of general layaboutness and fecklessness. People, if anything, as you can see by the graph on the right, read more now than they've ever read before. People read upwards of 60 books a year. I mean, I myself, I have read 4 or 5 books today. I think what people really have found is that in this modern world, the thing that we really enjoy doing is getting a 300-400 page book, sitting down and really focusing for a long time on something which takes away the distractions from the outside world. I know for me, I really find that it really makes me feel the spirit of John Ladybird in the room with me. Really makes me feel what he tried to impart onto all of us. That if we can understand the impact in a clear and considerable manner of the basic information in a confident and secure way, we can feel certain that we can find specific routes to various solutions. And I think that's the motto that was emblazoned. It was emblazoned, of course, above Ladybird House. It was emblazoned along Charles Dickens' back. Once he got it tattooed to celebrate his fourth publishing contract. And of course, it's written across the door of every home you go into today. I think that's why in our culture we really respect books, we respect the author, we value intellectualism, and it really bodes well for the future that we as a modern society in such a short period of time. Like I say, only 1792. Here we are, just 222 years later, 28 years later, really reading the benefits of that which was laid down to us. I would like to take my hat off to books and literature in general.